Today's video, we're going to talk about YouTube video ad tips that will work to make you more money from any video ad that you're trying to run and advertise for your company right now to generate sales, profits, and whatnot. These are 11 things that you can apply to the video that will make the video ad instantly more profitable. If you want to be able to make the big bucks from video advertising, you've got to know the insider tips to really make them work. These are all tips, by the way, that your competition basically won't know about. So you'll really have some secrets of the advertising industry that normally would only be available to people that are in the advertising industry formally for your own videos that you're running for your own company. So I'm going to go through what each one of these individual tips are and give you examples of where we used it for different clients in the past at our own agency, as well as different businesses that I personally run and own, different e-commerce shops and service companies as well on the side, which we also use video ads, and of which use these same principles there for the video ads we run there. So with that, you'll have everything you need to be able to apply these things to your own business and your own video ads that you're trying to run. By the way, if you're not running video ads for your company, this is the latest and greatest thing that works to be able to get ad campaigns to work online. And the second most profitable thing that you can run online, search ads being the most profitable typically because people are already looking to buy, and it's easy to just out-compete your competition, make money from doing that there. But trying to get somebody who's not looking to buy what you sell right then and there, a video does it better than nothing else that you can use. And I know because I run millions of dollars of ad spend for different clients and companies that I run on a monthly basis to tell you that the video ads is where it is right now and should be or continue to be for the foreseeable future, because video ads are believable. They're more believed than doing text and images alone. And people don't like reading as much as they like seeing a video ad because it's easier and people can be lazy. So with all that said, if you're not doing video ads, you should certainly try. They're a gold mine in your market, particularly as you can advertise them for people that are considering your competitors' offer while they're watching the video on YouTube, let's say, for a competitor review that reviews your competitor's item. You can pop up and have your video ad show up directly on their video, and it works. That in and itself will generally work every time. On Facebook, video ads will work better than any other ad type you have. And if you follow these basic tips here, anybody can get a video ad to work for their company. Given the format that I'm showing you here as a part of sharing you these tips for you here, generally works very, very well. And works much better than what your typical person is going to think a video ad should do to get it to work. So anyway, with all that said, I'll get directly into the content now. So of the things that you can do to make any video ad work better in terms of a tip that I can give you, adding subtitles to your video. When I say subtitles, I don't mean just like adding the, where you can have the closed captions underneath the YouTube video, for instance, but one thing you'll notice on TikTok over there is the subtitles will be applied to the video, and people have gotten so used to seeing that if you put the subtitles on your video, it'll look more like just a regular social share by a random person on the internet than an ad put out by a big company, which means they're going to pay attention and trust it at a higher rate. Anything you can actually do to make it look like you're not just a big company running an ad, but you're just an everyday user on social media, the better that ad is going to work, because people don't trust companies, they trust people that review products or services on their own online. And furthermore, along with this, by the way, the reason why it will add additional profit of whatever your video ad is making now, in addition to what it is making, it'll add more to it. Because as you may have noticed this, other videos that you see on YouTube, if you pay attention, the watch time on those videos will be higher if you have what people will do, you'll see, is they'll have the video here that they want to show, and then on the other half of the screen they'll have a video game where somebody's playing a video game. Because people's attention spans are so little nowadays that just by having the video game playing on the side, while they're trying to get to the point on the video that they have, you watch the video game and it'll keep more people overall watching the video for longer because there's something to entertain the user while they're trying to wait for the punchline on the video. So the subtitles, as it ties into that, gives you something to look at while you're waiting for the punchline on the video. Because they can do two things at once. So it's also tied into that as well. So all you need to know is just add the subtitles, whatever obviously that is being said. If you can make it look like what subtitles look like on TikTok videos, that will generally always add 10, 20, 30% to the ROI of your campaign just by doing that one simple thing. Second tip I can give you. You want a strong intro if you don't have one already. Every single video ad that I run, because it's ultra important, is, on YouTube particularly, there's obviously for the first 5 seconds of the video, there's the skip button. In order to make the most money from your ads, you got to be able to capture that user's attention in the first 5 seconds so they don't click skip. Because the more people who click skip, the less shots at making a sale that you have, given you're paying basically every time the video shows up. So the more people you can get to watch past 5 seconds, the more money you're going to make, because that means more people will make it to the end of the video to click through the video and get to a landing page or what have you. So, and what will typically be the formula that is going to get you the most results, just to keep it simple, is to lead with a question and then come forth with an answer immediately after. Do you have foot fungus? This is the best foot fungus product invention that's ever been invented. Or, do you wish to, make more money in your company? This new sales training system will make you more money from the existing leads that you have coming into your company, da 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 da. So you get the general point. And the question is meant to separate out all the people that you don't want to sell to from the people that you do want to sell to. And you may say, well, not everybody wants that exact thing. Well, narrow your video down in terms of its targeting until it gets down to one particular problem. And then state, do you have the problem on the beginning of the video? That will get their attention better than anything else basically you can do, that you can use in the first 5 seconds of that video, which I call the hook. So, do you have XYZ problem, or do you want XYZ result? We have the best thing that's going to fix that problem or give you the result that is out there. And then you go into immediately why it is able to do that. And that's the formula that I'm going to use basically in every single video I make, because that's the formula that works better than anything else. So, adding a sweet hook at the beginning of the video in the first 5 seconds is what you want. Even if you're running that video ad on Facebook, it's the same thing too, but by the way though, because that will cement in the amount of people, given that everybody has low attention spans nowadays, going back to that they're going to be committed to watch the whole video. So anyway, with that said, getting into the third tip here, localization. The more you could subdivide your campaigns that you're running into local campaigns, the better. Even if you're selling a product that can be used by anybody in the world. You take a campaign, let's say you even have a worldwide product that you sell worldwide. Making an Australia video for the Australians and making a video campaign just for the Americans will make each segment work better than if you had one video for everybody. And this goes all the way down to the state level, if you're talking about US anyway, city level, neighborhood level, county level, that kind of thing. And my favorite way to do this, to get extra free profit out of any video campaign, is to say, hey Minnesotans, or hey LAites, or hey New Yorkers, at the very beginning of the video, before the hook, because it's going to be like, well, wait a second, he's talking to me being a New Yorker, I have to see what this is about. Yeah, if you want to take this further to get a little bit more out of this, you can actually have stuff in the background or in the upper right-hand corner of the screen that is pertains to that location. Like, to give you a real example, we've had a little Australian logo at the top right of the video. which would be, obviously a US flag if we're talking about US and so forth. That will bump conversions typically, as it did for us. Furthermore, if you could add a localized accent to the person reading the script on the video, that'll increase your conversion rates as well. So I know what you're thinking. Everybody thinks the same thing. Corey, I don't want to make all these different videos for different people. It takes too much time, takes too much money. If you can get twice as much results just by saying the person's location at the start of the video, which is typically what that can do, it's worth it for you to do that, even if you have to pay somebody to make 50 copies of your video for 50 different states that you're targeting. Just think about it unemotionally and logically and mathematically what you stand to gain. And if you want to prove it to yourself, which is perfectly fine for you to do that, you do it and you make one video for one state, run it in that state by itself, see what the difference in ROI is, and you'll see how much of a difference this makes. So that's another tip you can use to apply to any video campaign to make it work better. Lots of jump cuts. Jump cuts are just simply different parts of the video where you cut out a spot, and then so you'll be watching, and instead of watching the whole original video, it jumps to some part later on in the video. Having different, where you edit parts, uninteresting parts or unneeded parts of the video out to where you're just showing the most important parts, the most engaging parts, that's always going to make your ad convert better, because it's going to make sure more people stay tuned in for the whole thing. The more people that get to the end of the video, the more people are going to buy, because there's a link at the end of the video, or just in general, they've gotten the full message that you need them to get to be actually interested enough to buy. So if you have a video testimonial or something like that, and you're trying to put that into a video, which is not a bad idea, you'll make more money cutting out the uninterested parts. Not because it just gets rid of the boring parts of it. The more important thing is it keeps you engaged as a user at a higher level. If you see big YouTubers, for instance, they don't just have one video, even if it's just like them talking, they don't just have the whole video of them talking. Like I'm like one of the rare exceptions. I do it here because I'm not trying to cater to the people that want the McDonald's version of ad management. I want people that are smart, educated, and want to know the actual details on how to beat their competition. It's not sexy, it's not pretty, it's not fun, but it works. There's other content out there that tries to make it seem easier than it is to make money with ads. If it was easy, anybody would do it. But every single channel you'll find, even if they're just talking to you like I am here, they do different, they'll have separate cameras, and they'll switch to different cameras so they have different angles of themselves. So even though they don't need to do that, they do that because it keeps the user tuned in for longer. So you can just simply do that, or if you are doing that, switch up the frames and add, ultimately, like I said, with different camera angles, you'll end up probably making more money just because the video is now going to be more engaging once you've done that. Look at the most viewed videos on TikTok. Pretty much what you'll see is the frame of the angle changing every 2 to 3 seconds. You got 2 to 3 seconds, they're showing something else, then something else, then something else. Why? Because it's just excellent at keeping someone's attention when you're constantly showing them something new. So even though you have a boring topic, if you switch up the angles and you show different things, you show B-roll, it's going to end up converting better because you're going to keep that user engaged longer. Okay, number 5 here, review. I was just talking about this a minute ago. The best video that you can run in terms of format is to get a customer to leave you a review and then advertise that video of the review. Why? Because people believe random social media users over you, the company trying to sell them something. So what we'll do is we'll have a customer review our product or service on their phone, send that video to us use that review to make a video ad. And then that video ad, by the way, will be put not on our channel to advertise it there, but on their YouTube channel that we set up for them, or a Facebook fan page that we set up for them, and then use that to advertise because it looks the most like something that was just made by an average everyday social media user. and therefore will convert at a high rate, even if that video isn't that great or the product's not that great. I know because I've seen this enough used by other people, and that we use it. This is our top strategy we have at our firm right now. Furthermore, if you have an influencer that the people that you're trying to sell to all know and that know, like, and trust, that'll even beat a customer review video that you could run. Why? Because people already respect that person's opinion on everything, which is why influencer marketing is so big. And even just like Donald Trump saying your product is awesome would work. What even works even better is somebody in your niche that they know that's relevant to your niche would convert even better if that person would to review you, because they're supposed to be a niche expert. And the problem is it's just very expensive to get somebody in your niche to review your product and recommend it to whoever, to the world, if you will. That's not cheap to do, but if you can do it, I highly, highly recommend you do that. That'll actually also convert better than a customer review video, which, even the customer review video and the influencer review will blow out of the water anything you could say yourself, just because it's going to come across as believable and trustable. So if you're doing a video that's not a customer review, switch to just doing that instead. So I know this isn't a direct tip to take a video and make it work better, like the topic of the video mentions, but you may just want to just switch it up, because our go-to is to have a customer talk about our product and then market that, not talk about the product ourselves. Even though once they see the testimonial, we'll have other videos show up for them later on, i.e. remarketing, that talks about the individual features and benefits of that product, so that we finish closing the deal with them. The initial lead-in to get them so that their guard is down and they'll listen about us, to listen to us and our message. We'll start with somebody else's speech about what we offer, not coming from us, even though we're going to advertise it ourselves, like I was saying before. So that's the 5th tip. The 6th tip here I'd give you is to use subliminal audio entrainment. So if you wanted an example of this, go to Alex Becker's channel. He'll have weird background music playing in the background. And this is actually tied to, there's certain frequencies that when you hear them, they'll have a different emotional effect on you. There's frequencies that can make you anxious. There's frequencies that will make you fall in love, all of these different things. And you can find these frequencies. You play these frequencies in the background of your video, and it will put your user in a frame of mind that you want them to be in when they're watching your video ad, which is open, in short, that you want them to be, as well as feeling good, because it'll be more likely that they're going to think, because I'm watching this video and it's making me feel good. Really, it's the background noise that's there that's making it feel good, and they'll put 2 to 2 together. So it'll increase retention, and that's another thing you could just literally add to a video and make it produce better. So go ahead and look into that, try that out for yourself. You'd be surprised how much that's going to affect your results in and itself, even though it's just literally faintly playing in the background. You don't even really notice it directly. But because it's there, it'll increase your conversion rates, because it'll increase your retention rates. As you can notice, as I've mentioned many times on this video already, everything on making video ads work better is to increase retention. The longer they're going to watch, the more sales you're going to make. If you have a half-hour video, it could be a terrible video, but if they're going to spend all that time watching the video, the chances are they're going to buy once they've invested that much time and effort into, like what you're offering. Chances are extremely high they're going to buy at that point in time. You just got to keep them watching. Of course, it's important to get your selling points in there right. But bottom line, the main goal is, how can I get them to watch for as long as possible what I'm talking about? And subsequently, how can I get them watching so they thought it was cool, so then when I show them another subsequent video, they're willing to watch that, and then watch the next video. And there's a certain point where they've watched long enough that they're just willing to buy. If they're just willing to buy. Going forward, number 7 here, other languages. I touched on this in regards to the localization and using different accents there. If you can't get an ad campaign to get you the return you want, and you can sell, and you're trying to, you have something that can appeal to a mass audience, not like a small segment of people in the world, just try to consider translating your video into another language and just run it towards Spanish or Polish or something like that. Why? Because there's so few video ads that are catered to other audiences that are actually well set up that you've lowered the barrier of competition that you have to sell to that person, because they don't normally see good video ads in their language. If they do see a video ad in their language, it's a brand ad. It's not a direct selling ad like you see in English many times. So, and then furthermore, with Google ads and with your YouTube ads, you can, and also with Facebook, you can target people that are Spanish speakers directly. So you make your video in Spanish, and then you just target Spanish speakers with your ad account directly, and it only shows up for Spanish speakers. So you don't have to worry about it showing up for people that speak English and then having all your money wasted with your ad showing up for them, because you don't need to do that. So that's pretty self-explanatory. You can make more money, you can make a higher ROI. Obviously, you're now missing your opportunity to all the other English speakers or what have you, but you're not getting an ROI that's high enough to substantiate running the ad right now. Well, at least you got something. 8, in terms of tips, speed up the delivery of the visuals on your video and add a new voiceover. So video is where it's just a pitch man, if you will, talking and explaining the different benefits and all that of a product or service. Those work. They still work. They have worked forever. But what works better now is doing the demonstration, and instead of just having the demonstration play at the normal rate, what normally will work better for our agency is to speed up the video so they can see the demonstration in fast forward speed. And then obviously if you do that, you have to have a new voiceover laid over on top of the what's playing there. So when they're watching, they're just seeing a sped up version of the demonstration with the person that's talking can also be sped up, but for the most part, the person's talking on top of a sped up video. That'll convert better than a video that's playing at normal rate with somebody talking during that video. So for what it's worth, why? Because people have low attention spans again. It's what you typically see perform well over at TikTok. Just have to replicate what they're doing, your video ad will work better. So that's one thing I would recommend doing. Number 9, tip number 9, don't use, this is pretty obvious, don't use a random approach to your video scripting. Everything in your video has to have a purpose, and you should map out the video from start to finish. The most common reason why our clients that I talk to, that when I start working with them, the most common reason why the video ad doesn't work is because they just picked some random video that they made on their YouTube channel to advertise. Or they tried to make a video ad that would be catered to just trying to get people that are trying to sell to directly, aka a commercial, to work, but they didn't have a structured approach to how the video flow worked and the scripting. If you want to know a script that works, go look up on my channel homepage, YouTube scripts that work, and I've got a structured approach that basically will work every time for every company, no matter what you're selling. And you follow a certain process. There's a certain way that video ads have to go. Introducing, getting their attention, introducing the solution, explaining why the solution's better, explaining why other ways to do what you want to do, what they want to do isn't ideal. And then that just kind of takes the user from unaware to feverishly wanting your product or service in a structured way that just typically works. You want to follow that approach. You don't want to just wing what you think they should want to see, basically first, second, third. No. And without being an ad expert, just follow what somebody else is using that's working. AKA just use the scripting that I provide on my YouTube channel, and you will have something almost for sure that will work. So anyway, just thought I would mention that one as well. Make sure your video has the right structure to it. Multiple voices for tip number 10. One thing we found recently was if you have one voice mentioning or reading the script on your video, you'll actually generally get more of a conversion rate on your video ad if you have you switch it up. So it'll be like a male voice reading some part of the script, and then it switches to a female voice reading the script, and then back to a male voice. The reason why I think this works better, honestly, is because it seems like there's consensus there. Humans are trained to only trust stuff that a lot of people are saying is the truth. The more people that concede and say the same thing, the more likely it is to be true. So if 2 people or 3 people are reading off the script, it seems like there's a consensus among the population that what you're trying to convey to the user is the reality, is the truth. Going back to the testimonials, you could even have 2 testimonials mentioned in the same ad, if you will. One person of which seeming like that they're the friend of the person that started out the video or whatever, which I want to start getting into, but you get the general idea of what I'm talking about here. And multiple voices, having male and female, seem to work better than just male by itself, and then another male. Which gives you a little bit more guidance on what to do here, but you get the general idea. Try to have 2 voice actors or 3 voice actors. That'll generally work better than just 1 on your video. And then the final tip here for tip number 11, change up the voice tone itself. So there's a big difference between one voice actor and another in terms of the way that they sound and their tone, whether that's a real deep voice or high-pitched voice or, a squeaky voice. Even if you're doing the video as the owner and the spokesman of the company, if your video works, hire somebody else to pretend that they're the spokesman and owner of the company. I know that's kind of sketchy, but there's a huge difference between how one person sounds and how another person sounds that'll, in terms of the effectiveness and conversion rate of that video. I promise you, it's a huge, huge difference between how one voice sounds and another. So you want to test that out as well. And just to give you some guidance there, so you're not just winging it, you literally want a manly voice or an average sounding male voice or a feminine sounding male voice, and go that general direction. As well as if you want to test the most effective thing that will probably push the numbers more or less, is somebody who naturally speaks faster or slower as well as somebody who speaks that overly sounds optimistic versus pessimistic. So those are the kind of like levers, if you will, in terms of mixing up who is actually reading off the script, and that will get you more or less results. Obviously, you're not going to hit a home run with it every time, but I guarantee if you do what I just mentioned, you'll find one variant of what you're doing that will push the numbers up. So anyway, that's my final tip I can give you here. That is the main stuff that you can do to any video campaign you have now to push the ROI up on the campaign. If you're doing, let's say, a 3-to-1 return, $3 of sales for every $1 of ad spend on your video ad campaign now, and you need to get it to an 8, there's plenty of information here that'll get you from a 3 to an 8, or even a 3 to a 10. You just have to put these things into practice and go through the process of figuring it out. Everybody wants to be able to just put an ad out, they're making money. Most of the fortunes that are made online aren't that way. They tried something, it had mediocre results. They tried something else, it worked a little better. Running ads online, unless you've been doing it for 20 years already, that you've got all the experience and it's inside your head, you're not going to probably hit that home run right away. And actually, it's rare to hit that home run right away. You got to try a number of different things, and then certain things, certain elements will push the numbers up higher than others. If you go in with a structured approach and test each individual thing I'm talking about here, each one will push your results up a little bit further once you've tested that element out. And so, basically, if you get any kind of sales results with your video ad you have now, you should already be jumping up and down for joy, because once you apply these other micro elements to it, you're going to have a campaign that's going to be profitable after expenses. Where you should be upset is where you get no sales at all, and even then, go ahead and take the approach of having the influencer or having your customers make a video for you, advertise that. I promise you, that's super effective right now, and when nothing else works, that will generally work. I just made a video about how to take a customer testimonial and turn it into an effective video ad 2 videos before this. If you want to look into that, you should check that out as well. Well, with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you liked this video. See a lot of value from the advice I give you, and that you try the techniques out to get more results out of your video campaigns. If you have any questions about anything I covered, you can leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. Ask me any ad-related question you'd like. I'd love to be able to get back to my video viewers and subscribers of this channel, just as a thank you for watching the channel. If you did like the video, I'd appreciate it though if you'd give the video a like for being useful to you. And if you really like the video here, this is what this channel is about. It's about giving you guys information on how to make more money with your ads on Google, Facebook, and so forth. And it comes straight from the source on somebody who just does ad strategy all day long. I'm not a YouTuber or course seller or any of this BS and related advice that comes from people that don't actually use and do ads on an ongoing basis like I do. And therefore the information can be relied on. Therefore you should subscribe. And if you like my channel, you'll love my blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog, as well as my column that I have over at entrepreneur.com to get other advice from myself in written format, which is actually better than even the channel itself. Beyond that, you are looking for an ad manager, either now or in the future. I'd love to be able to see if we can work together. If you reach out to my firm at guaranteeppc.com, I'd be happy to give you a free analysis on what you're doing. And if there is a way to get you some results, I can give you a guarantee of results, i.e. additional sales from your current ad spend before taking any kind of fees at all. The only catch is, of course I have to know I can get results on your campaign, so I don't work with just any client, but if you want to see if we can work together and how much sales results you can get under my personal management, reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. I'd be happy to look over your stuff and get you that free analysis. The analysis is free either way, and you'll see value out of that. Beyond that though, and if you aren't looking for an ad manager, which some people don't need that, but you want to shortcut your way to success, if I've worked in your market before, you can use the ad templates and everything we learned about your market and literally copy and paste what we've done in your market to your own ad accounts and get the same kind of results for yourself without any of the work, any of the time and money and effort we had to spend to figure out what works in your market. We sell those templates for a one-time fee, and it's going to be way less than what you're going to have to spend to figure out the same stuff for yourself. And so with that, and the templates are so good, we've got people just buying these templates that I have and starting lead generation businesses with it, starting side businesses, and they're successful because they have the ad campaign that works for that market. So, if you're trying to see if you want to shortcut your way to success, which you should obviously, I want to see if we worked in your market, reach out to me and I'll let you know what results we've gotten in your market, if we've worked in your market, and of course what the charge would be for all those templates. We sell the campaign templates, landing page templates, everything you need to literally copy paste results into your account. And so with that though, I'll wrap the video up with that. Hopefully you liked the video, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.